Day 5, fans in the stands, the pads on, Hall of Famers in attendance, dogs at the podium. My gosh, what a time to be alive. Let's go inside the locker room and let's relive it.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaway.
The pads were on, the fans were in the stands, the vibes were lovely. It's one of my favorite days of the year. And I don't say this hyperbole. I don't say this exaggerating. I absolutely love when the pads get put on in training camp. And this one was extra special. You started off the morning with the news that the Houston Texans, and by the way, it is the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can see me here daily. 4 videos yesterday. Lives after every practice. We have the night stream as well. When the season starts, there's going to be some more stuff in the mix. I appreciate you for coming in. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, all that. I'll give you all the practice observations you need. You'll get the interaction with the players after practice, and we got you. For sure. Hey, me and Stutz, it can be a tie. That is my guy. Be sure to swarm that like button. But the news started today, and in a lot of NFL cities, this is kind of an eye roll. The news today was that the Texans had sold out their season tickets. And I mean, in probably half the cities around, that's not a big deal, but with what things have been and even what the vibes were for a large portion of last season, I think that's a really big deal. And it kind of shows how far the Texans have come in a very short time and how ahead of schedule that they are. So you started off with that. And as impressive as that is, and I actually said this to Greg Grissom, who's been there since the beginning. I said this to Greg Grissom during practice. Like, I don't know what's more impressive. Selling out season tickets when you have the best roster under 25 and all these additions in a football state / football town like Houston, Texas, or having fans freaking lining up at 3 a.m. in the morning to watch practice on a Tuesday where there was a strong chance that there would be a massive storm. I don't know what's more impressive. I'm sure, like, as far as the bottom line goes, you want to sell all your tickets. You want the season tickets to be sold. So I would say that they probably they would rather that be the norm. But it was absolutely crazy that you had people waiting at 3 a.m. just to watch this team practice. Tyler asks how Lassiter is looking out there. I'll let you know that in a sec. I actually got to ask him a question that I've been wanting to ask him for a while at the podium. We'll see that in a sec. He's been cornerback 1 though. I mean, he's been running with the ones. There's no mistake. We've been wondering, like, is he going to be the nickel guy? He's been running with the ones, and quite frankly, I'm a pretty big fan of Lassiter. How was the first padded practice? Did Kenyon Green look the part? Didn't really stick out. Kenyon Green didn't stick out. He didn't look terrible at all. Derek, streaming from work. Shout out to you, my friend. Be sure to like the video. Christian Harris update. He wasn't on the field. We did see him, though. He was on the sideline. Seems to be in pretty good spirits with his teammates. I don't think it's anything serious, but he was out there just on the sidelines going through the mental reps for sure. Marcus says he's here. What it do? Titus was good at the podium today, but the locksmith had all the money quotes. Gave me goosebumps. See, I think everyone's kind of a podium critic that comes into here. In the Life of Colby says he'll be there at 3 a.m. on August 21st. I'll come by and say what's up. Tell me what you want for breakfast. If you're really going there at 3 a.m., tell me what you want for breakfast. I'll get there about 8-ish. I'll bring you breakfast. Just let me know what you want. I got you, Colby. No lie. Seriously, just let me know. And I will bring it to you. So we started out the day practice again. You had the fans in the stands. You had a little bit of rain, and you had Andre Johnson on the scene. Andre Johnson walked in. He made the rounds. He dabbed up everyone, and then he went on the field. And I thought this was cool at the start of practice. You can kind of just tell the impact. You know, a lot of times when, you wonder, DeMeco Ryans is respected by his peers. He's respected by his teammates. Andre Johnson wanted nothing to do with the POS. Jack Easterby kind of distanced himself. This is Andre Johnson. This was on my Twitter. This is Andre Johnson embracing Tank Dell and Will Anderson before practice. I mean, you can just see he's enjoying himself. Andre's about to be there. Will Anderson action. Don't do the vintage, oh, he looks like he can still play type of thing. But yeah, Dre was on the scene, and Dre's really been on the scene since DeMeco's been there. He said that, whatever DeMeco needed, he was going to be there for him. He was on the scene. He was greeting a lot of guys before practice, for sure. I'll bring you Whataburger. Yeah, just let me know at 3 a.m. Anyone that is a locker room listener, if you're at practice and you're in line, I will bring you breakfast. It's got to be fast food breakfast. We can go fast food breakfast because I don't want to have to get out of the car. I will bring you breakfast. You have my word on that. That is 100% a promise. So as the team kind of warmed up in the bubble, you then had CJ Stroud hit the field. This is what CJ Stroud looked like. This is how he made his entrance to the field. You see Damian Pierce in front. No Joe Mixon. So Joe Mixon, Christian Harris, Tunsil, Beck still out. Beck was working out on the far field. I didn't catch a glimpse of Tunsil. Also, you had Nico Collins and Mechie out. These were veteran rest days. Mechie's fine. Nico Collins, if you listened yesterday, he had a pretty active practice. He was out. Actually had his jersey on, though, and was going through mental reps and really, really involved when it came to cheering on his teammates. So I think we'll see Nico back perhaps tomorrow. This was just the typical veteran off day. Here's CJ is making his jog onto the field. You can see him strolling out there. Got the fans, all that. A little bit more juice. A lot of cameras out there today as well. You got Casario with the towel. Davis Mills. CJ's feeling it. Ready to go. And we got our first look at red zone practice today. Little Gerard Johnson dab up there. CJ getting loose. We got our first look at red zone today, which was interesting. There was some good stuff. Some stuff, as much as stuff changes, sometimes it kind of stays the same. I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, you had CJ Stroud going out there. We got our first look at red zone. I'll tell you what happened in that in a sec. We'll also hear from other guys. So we had Andre on the scene. The McNairs also were on the scene. I got to chat with Cal and Hannah a little bit. They actually went to the podium during team period. I'll be honest. I kind of ignored that a little bit. Yeah, Damian Pierce has definitely changed his his look. The McNairs, they went in the tent. I didn't go in there. It was too crowded. But I did see the McNairs. They did say that the roof damage might take a little while to repair. It could be a month into the season. So what does that mean? Are we going to have an open roof, closed roof? Like what exactly does that mean? What does that entail? Might be something worth keeping an eye on. I guess Cal said that the parts are a little bit difficult to get, which is actually kind of a relatable thing. I know that there's a lot of talk about Cal McNair, and they have like cooking with Cal. And I know some people try to latch onto that and sell sauce and stuff like that. But I think that the most relatable thing with Cal McNair is it's hard for him to get parts. I mean, there's a lot of people that were looking for generators, air conditioners, stuff like that. And they have to wait for parts. Billionaires that own sports franchises, they have to wait for parts as well. I think that's pretty relatable from Cal. Who knows what it actually means? But that was a little update from the McNairs, who are feeling themselves. They're very happy. I think Hannah kind of in passing said, we're going to win the division. It wasn't like a bold prediction. It was more like a fun thing. You could headline porn that if you want, but Cal said, who's going to win the division? And she said, we are. She's excited. She should be because they've been through a lot. They've been through a lot, as have many players. I asked Titus Howard about what it's been like for him. And I thought this was interesting because Titus Howard's always an interesting dude because sometimes on social media, Titus will kind of put his foot in his mouth a little bit. But man, he really is like a likable guy. And I think the interesting thing about Titus Howard is that when you talk about being on the roller coaster, like at its peak of the Houston Texans, I think you can really go back to like 2017, 2018 to now. If you just want to talk about the high, low, and then, the ongoing roller coaster. But Titus Howard got here in 2019. And in 2019, he was starting on a team that was up 24-0 in the divisional round and close to hosting an AFC championship game. They had a quarterback who many thought was one of the best in the game. And then that just completely came tumbling down in 2020, then 2021, then 2022. And then last year, Titus, he gets hurt. But the vibes are similar. They're probably even a little bit higher than they were when he came into the NFL. And I just wonder, you go into the NFL, you're so close, you assume that the best is yet to come. Then you go in football hell for a few years. And now you walk into this atmosphere with the fans, with all the vibes and stuff. Like, does it make you appreciate things a little bit more? Maybe even you, maybe even the fans in here. Like, do you find like a little bit more of an appreciation for how you feel now compared to how you were maybe feeling in 2018, 2019? Let me know if you do, because I think there's definitely an appreciation, whether you're covering the team, whether you work for the team, or whether you play on the team. And here's Titus Howard answering that question at the podium today after practice.
When you first came here, you went to the playoffs, then you went through kind of the dark period. Is there like an appreciation or something, the fact that you're getting closer to back? Like, you're a rookie, you have success, you're close to getting to the AFC championship game, and then it kind of goes away, and now it kind of seems like that's bad. Is there like an appreciation for that?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the game every day, win or lose, because, it's a privilege to be, in this position I am. But, I'm happy to be a part of a team that's winning, happy to have coaches that are building a winning culture. So every day, man, the mindset is that I can't let my guys down because everybody's depending on me, and we all depend on each other. And just the camaraderie around the building, all the leaders on the team, it starts with the quarterback. We built something special around here, and it starts from the head coach, QB, and down to, all the practice squad guys, players. Everybody's holding each other accountable, going hard every day to make each other.
There you go. So he does. You gotta appreciate it if you're Titus Howard. Absolutely got to appreciate it, and you can kind of see it with the fans for sure. That's Titus Howard's point of view there, holding down that right side. So let's go back to what happened at practice again. Dalton Schultz, he was back. So yesterday was just a veteran day off. We didn't get like the Joe Mixon type surprise where you think it's a veteran day off, and then all of a sudden there's like an extended amount of time being missed. Dalton Schultz, a true veteran day off. So you had that again. Nico Collins and Mechie, they were both out. So you had that going on, and then you had the first look. We've been asking for this, myself and Cody Stutz. You had the first look at red zone offense. Been dying to see this. This was entertaining, and it started off with quite a bang. We'll talk about that in a sec, but let's go through the light work first, because this is a full service practice update. Start out with a little special teams, a little snooze fest, light punt work for Tommy Townsend. I was kind of disappointed that the crowd didn't get to see that hang time that we've been marveling at from the third phase, from the man with the long locks. But Tommy Townsend basically just punting it short to the guys, getting some punt return work in. Nothing really special. There was some kick return stuff. They weren't really taking guys down to the ground, so you couldn't really tell if this, like, if it would have been a touchdown or not. So there was that. Also, some pretty big news. CJ Stroud and Cam Akers, they do have a handshake, and I thought this was big. Cam Akers just got here a couple of days ago, but you look at him right there in that 22. CJ Stroud, he's not going to do this lightly when it comes to teammates. You don't have to earn the handshake. You get the handshake no matter what. Let's take a look at it. Let's judge the handshake between CJ Stroud and Cam Akers. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know, CJ. We gotta work on that one. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe he doesn't think. Maybe Cam Akers has to earn like a good handshake, but there is a handshake between CJ and he. So you had the light punt work by Townsend. We only had 2 team periods today. There's been 4 the last couple of days. There was only a couple today, and it was red zone. So let's go through team period 1. Team period 1, first play of team was a touchdown. It was a touchdown to Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs in the right corner of the end zone. Perfect spike, excitement, and CJ Stroud, first play of red zone, touchdown to Stefon Diggs. Then you had a pass to Brevin Jordan for 6 yards, kind of a moderate game, making it about 3rd and goal from the 6, maybe. And on the next play, you had the touchdown to Brevin Jordan, and the Houston Texans, the Twitter account, the fine people over there on their social media, they got a look at that. This was the touchdown. This was 2 plays after the Diggs touchdown. This is CJ Stroud to his buddy Brevin Jordan. I mean, really pretty good coverage there by Murray, for being honest. And you had Brevin toss it up. But that was so 2 touchdowns for CJ Stroud in team, which good to see. They're going to have to score in the red zone. They're going to have to be better in the red zone. Will they be able to run the ball? That's still to be determined. But CJ Stroud, and I saw Chancellor, the great Chancellor Johnson, put this up on of KPRC. 3 of 4 CJ was on his first red zone team session. Touchdown to Diggs, touchdown to Brevin Jordan. Then Davis Mills came in. Davis Mills, not to be outdone, touchdown on his first play up the middle to Cade Stover. Cade Stover just finds the seam, lines up on the left side of Mills, goes up, boom, touchdown, Cade Stover. So you had that. Then we went back to special teams drills. Got to look at Kaimi Fairbairn. I think this is the first time that he's kicked field goals. This is the first time they've done team kicking drills. Most of the time, Kaimi Fairbairn and John Weeks are just kind of, and Townsend are just kind of to themselves on a side field. Kaimi Fairbairn, pretty good in special teams. His first kick from 36, right down the middle. You have the refs as well, so they're holding up the hands. Then you had 2 consecutive field goals from 41, which he hit. Then hit it one from 45. Missed one from 52 just off the right post. And then from 60, he was good. So Ka'imi Fairbairn in special teams drills, 5 of 6. Still don't know that he really likes the I don't know that he really likes the kickoff. I compared watching him try to kick off under this new format to kind of the frustrated golfer working on his short game on the pitching range. But he can still kick, and that's why you just don't want him having to try to tackle guys or anything like that because he's so valuable. But he was 5 of 6 in special teams. Again, pretty short practice today. I wish I had 14 periods to update you on, but I didn't. I do not. Before we get to team period number 2, let's hear what DeMeco Ryans has to say about the fans and the buzz. This was the head coach of the Texans after practice talking about just that.
The season tickets already being sold out. You feel that. I feel that excitement from our fans around town. No matter where I go, I feel it when we come out to practice. So it just shows, man, it's humbling to see just the amount of just support that our fans here in Houston have for us already to have sold out season tickets. It shows that they want to be a part of it. They want to show up. They want to be loud. They want to support us. So I'm very thankful for the fans, right, who sacrificed to purchase season tickets and to be there to make our place at a home field advantage for sure.
That's DeMeco Ryans talking about the buzz, and you can tell it means a lot to him. Hits a little bit different for someone who played here, lives here, family, all that type of stuff. How are we watching the Bears game? I don't know. I'm definitely going to be streaming right after. I'm going to Cleveland right after. I'm going to be covering the 3 practices, so I'll be out there in Cleveland holding it down. I don't think there's going to be too many people, so hopefully I can give you guys like an even better peek and view of things out there in Cleveland. The stream, the live streams, we get 4 figures deep on those post game, so we'll figure that out. I'm very excited for this Hall of Fame game. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an opportunity for these running backs. For sure. I don't think any player likes the new kickoff. It's tough to hit in that range and get everyone in the right spot. Yeah, Frank Ross didn't seem to like it. He likes the challenge and all that. He likes more of the traditional kickoff. I think that there's probably some return men and special teams players who like it because it gives them more of an opportunity to perhaps make a roster. I just think as time goes on, until the NFL keeps making it more and more costly to not kick it, I think that we're going to see coaches just say F it and kick the ball out of bounds and take it to the 30. But yeah, I don't know that a lot of kickers like it for sure. I don't think that's something that they really look forward to. Chris says most important things first. If there's a shirt with this new H-Town blue as dominant color, when are we getting the blue hat with the red H? Don't care about Oilers, but that's a pile of money to be made. I don't know. The merch they're all over it with the merch. Team Shop has stuff that you can't really even see. Would love to see Landry, Figgy, Seth, Stutz, and B. Scott start their own sports channel. Landry is great. The big picture stuff. Seth with individual players and players. Hope they patch things up. Hey, me and Seth are cool, dude. We actually went and had brews this week, and I'm good with Seth. Stutz, one of my best friends. B. Scott, talked to him today on the reg. Figgy Fig. You'll never hear me say a bad thing about him. So there is nothing wrong with any of those dudes. For sure. There's no beef. Talk to them practice and stuff like that. Have actually gained a little bit more appreciation recently. The culture is reminding me of when Kubiak was in the building, and I think it's only up from here for our very excited for our team. Very excited by all means. You should be excited. It's a good time to cover this squad for sure. Team 2 breakdown. Let's go to team 2, and then we'll hear from a couple defensive backs. One heading into a very pivotal third year with a new perspective. The other one, a widely regarded dog who just wants to play football. It is the Locker Room, #1 source for Texans digital content. So we started out with Stefon Diggs with the touchdown in CJ Stroud's first red zone session. He had a couple of catches in this one. However, one was kind of a dump off. The other one, 2 yards short of the end zone. They moved it back afterwards. Texans failed to reach the end zone, but Stefon Diggs, one of the clear stars of training camp and one of the clear stars of practice, he did his thing, but the Texans failed to score with CJ Stroud. Then you had an interesting play to Skournick, however the hell we're saying this, 26, the white wide receiver. He went in motion, kind of went to the right side of the right tackle, went across the field. Tim Boyle found him in the end zone. I think it would have been a touchdown, got punched out after, but that was really it. It really wasn't a very active practice. We've seen more active practices. It was high-spirited, but it really wasn't overly active. Afterwards, something that's been kind of sticking out, Jaylen Pitre, they're kind of moving him around a little bit. He's playing all over the place. Jaylen Pitre last year, disappointing year. Let's just be honest. Coming off the 5 interceptions, you go from 5 to 0. There were times when you were benched. I just asked Jaylen Pitre a question. I thought it was a really insightful answer by him. Jaylen, what can you learn from last year that will make you a better football player this year?
Last season, like that, perhaps will make you a better player moving forward. Were there any lessons as you applied that you take and say this can make you way better moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's just owning the situation and how it comes. You know, everything might not go your way, whether that's a play, whether that's a day, you know, in your life. And you got to just keep pushing and keep finding ways to get better. I think that's what I'm trying to do, trying to stay positive with my teammates and try to be a, you know, uplifting role model to them because, you know, like I said, these days are hard for us and they are long. So, you know, I'm just trying to be that, you know, that peaceful guy in the locker room, somebody that you could just come to and just chop it up with and, you know, uplift the spirit of the whole, you know, team.
And I think that's interesting because you heard Dameon Pierce say that last year was frustrating at times, but that he thought professionally it was going to be the most valuable year of his football career. And maybe it's kind of the same for Pitre. I mean, both of them had very, very good rookie years. They came in with high hopes in their second years. They kind of struggled. The team was good, but it's not like they moped around. You still have the coaches talking highly of them, their teammates talking highly of them. So it's easy to root for those guys. And it looks like maybe they're going to use Jaylen Pitre a little bit more today as well. And they're going to start moving him around. And that's why I said, if you brought in another safety, you're not necessarily giving up on him because you're still going to be able to use him, which I think is really, really interesting when it comes to, does that mean that Bullock plays a little bit more? Does that mean that perhaps they bring in another safety? That's something to definitely keep an eye on. I thought this was interesting. So Kamari Lassiter, is a guy who you hear DeMeco Ryans and you hear Nick Caserio talk about him. They just talk about what a great football player he is and how awesome that he how awesome of a guy he is, how businesslike he is. You hear everyone describe him as a dog. And this was a viral clip, and I remembered it at the time. I really didn't make note of who it was about, but it was Kirby Smart after Georgia took on Florida State in their bowl game. It was a non-college football playoff matchup. There are a lot of players opting out because there wasn't a lot to gain, but Kamari Lassiter ended up playing, and this was what Kirby Smart said afterwards. And I got a chance to ask Kamari about this. Here was Kamari Lassiter's former head coach, Kirby Smart, talking about him after his final game as a Georgia Bulldog.
Kamari Lassiter had a 1-2 grade, second round grade, and Kamari had to make a tough decision like all these other people. And I called Kamari in and I talked to him and I told him, Kamari, you should come out for the draft. That's my opinion. You're one of the top corners in the draft. You got to make that decision. Okay, that's one decision. Then the second decision is you got to decide if you want to play this bowl game. I don't know that you got a lot to gain in this bowl game, Kamari, but I do know who you are, and I do know how you practice, and I do know how you lead, but I'm not going to be disappointed in anything you decide. He came back about 3 or 4 days later, and I met with him and his mom and talked to him and fully expected him not to play in this game. He called me 2 days later, said, Coach, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sitting out. I'm over there coaching. I can't do it. I want to be out there. I want to play with my guys. And I think he did it against his mother's will, to be honest. Now, I don't know that, but I think he did it against his mother's will because that's who he is. So all these teams that go shopping, this dude right here wants to play football. That's all he cares about is playing football and his teammates. He ain't worried about the next thing and all that and all that. He said, I want to play football. And he played football for the University of Georgia. And he did it when he didn't have to do it. And that's what's different at this place than a lot of other places. Thank you.
All right. So you heard that from Kirby Smart. It's one thing for him to say it, but I thought it was interesting. Just wanted to ask Kamari Lassiter about it. And here's what it sounded like after practice when I asked him about that viral Kirby Smart clip.
Kirby Smart praising you for deciding to play in the bowl game. A lot of guys in your position, they opt out. What went into that decision? Is that kind of what DeMeco and Caserio like about you when they talk about he just likes to play football?
Yeah, I mean, I eat, sleep, and breathe football. Football has been the love of my life since I was 3 years old. So, I mean, I had the opportunity to play in the game with my teammates, and I was fully healthy. So, I mean, they're in my brain, it was a no-brainer. Like, it's football. Why would I not play? So, you know, other guys chose to make other decisions. You know, that's neither here nor there. You know, I respect the decision regardless because, you know, everyone has to make a decision for themselves and their family and, you know, their betterhood. But, you know, my decision was to go out there and play football.
I mean, he's just about that business. He's just a dog.
I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog.
There you go. So that's Kamari Lassiter, who's been a star. It's been kind of crazy. I'll be honest. Like I'm kind of surprised. You know, you hear all this talk about, you know, is he an inside guy? Is he an outside guy? And there's a lot of dialogue. And a lot of this is, I mean, I'll raise my hand like it's created by us. And by us, I'm not separating myself from fans. I value fan conversations a lot more than I do some media guys. Like some media guys just linger around and they're not putting anything into it. At least fans, a lot of them follow it a little bit closer. So I'm not saying, I'm not trying to deflect blame or anything like that. We're all going to have different types of analysis, but it is interesting, you know, that it hasn't even really been a question, you know, like it's early. We're about a week into camp, but there's a difference between like even last year with CJ Stroud and Davis Mills. Like you wondered, okay, well, why is Davis Mills getting first team reps? Why is CJ Stroud rotating? Why is Davis Mills available before him? And you knew that CJ was going to be the starting quarterback, but you was kind of like, okay, well, they're kind of dragging this out a little bit. Lassiter's been with the ones. Like it's not a matter of this guy's inside, this guy's outside. Like he's been with the ones. And the demeanor that he has, the mindset, did they like Lassiter more than they like Kool-Aid McKinstry or Cooper DeJean? We'll never know. We'll never know. But when you see what this guy's about, you see kind of what he brings to the table, and you watch him, and quite frankly, he's held his own against really good receivers. It's easy to see why they at least liked him. I mean, it's really, really easy to see. And a lot of times with this organization in recent years, you know, their kind of guy, it was kind of something where it got a lot of attention and some of it might've been warranted. Some was unwarranted, but I do think there were times where they valued stuff that didn't really matter. It all matters. Shout out to the POS, Jack Easterby, whatever the hell he's doing. But it does feel like Nick Caserio and DeMeco Ryans, the stuff that they value, the stuff that matters, I think you can kind of see it on the field. And it's actually kind of crazy because we've been at the podium now 5 days at camp. And, you know, you have CJ Stroud, who's always been a spiritual guy. I think that's always been like one of his things. You have Will Anderson saying that being more spiritual was like one of his main focuses. Jaylen Pitre said the same thing today. And I'm not saying that that's like some sort of requirement to be on the Texans, but it is interesting that that's just kind of where it is with this squad. And when they talk about their kind of guy, they're about it. And I enjoy it. And when you have that type of culture, I actually think in a crazy way, it makes it more possible for you to bring in guys who maybe have different types of mindsets or different types of reputations, because you have that foundation. They all want the same thing. You hear Will Anderson and CJ Stroud say, the Texans aren't for everyone. And that's just kind of what they're building. And when you see guys who have really, I don't want to say obnoxious. I'll say obnoxious in a good way, but obnoxious-ish personalities like Stefon Diggs. And then you have guys like Derek Stingley and Lassiter who are more just about that business. I think it's a nice mix of personalities on this squad for sure. It's going to be really, really crazy. Albert asks, how likely is it that Kamari is as good or better than Steven Nelson? I don't know, man. Like Steven Nelson was banged up at the end of last year. I think Steven Nelson, despite all the extra silliness, I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he did last year and how he performed. Again, kind of fell off a little bit on the back end, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be better or not. I don't know if he's going to be as much of a ball hawk. Who knows? Definitely different personalities. I definitely don't think Kamari Lassiter is going to be taking gulps of whiskey and talking crap about DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caserio on a podcast as he chews gum into the mic. So I think we'll be on that. Someone says Dylan Thompson, Jack Easterby. Yeah, Dylan's gone though. Dylan's in Washington. I kind of feel like they miss his arm, but yeah, Dylan was a good dude. Just kind of brought in by Easterby. They never said anything about him, but yeah, I don't know if you missed this or not, but yeah, he gone. Dylan Thompson is gone. Be sure to do what Joe Blue said. Hit the like button. I'm going to go through the Titus and Jaylen Pitre, try to put together some sort of podium critic type stuff. We had the morning show with myself and Cody Stutz this morning. We got up early, got you ready for camp. Another day tomorrow, night stream tonight at 10:30. I'll figure out what the theme's going to be of that. And then as breaking news pops, videos will pop up. The live stream after every practice, the night stream, all that. It's going to be really, really fun. And it's a really, really good time. Again, Andre Johnson on the scene, the McNairs on the scene. The roof might not be ready. DeMeco Ryans shouts out the fans. Titus Howard is appreciative. Jaylen Pitre is kind of reflective and has come a long way. Kamari Lassiter, he about that action boss. Stefon Diggs, been the star of camp. He remains the star of camp. Still no Joe Mixon. Still no Laramie Tunsil. Still no Andrew Beck. No Nico Collins. No Mechie today. We'll keep an eye on things and see if they return. CJ Stroud finds Stefon Diggs and Brevin Jordan. Davis Mills finds Cade Stover. And that's what we got, baby. It's going to be a fun journey. And we're finally getting a little glimpse of what it's like when you escape football hell. Always remember, whether it's football hell, whether it's football heaven, whether it's good weather, whether it's bad weather, whether there's fans in the stands or not, always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. What a time to be alive. What a time to watch this squad. What a time to cover practice. Thanks for coming in the locker room. Pause.
If it's up, then it's up. We number one. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.